everybody. It is Self-Care Sunday. How you guys doing today? Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. It is great to have you here. Yes, you on Self-Care Sunday as we kick off another week. We are here to kick it off. We kicked last week's into the past, and this week we are jumping into the future. Yes, we are. Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. I am so excited to have you here tonight. Tell me what you're grateful for this Sunday. What is happening in your world on this Sunday and the second day of Passover, a week till Easter? Easter is early this year. It is never on time. It is always late or early, and this year it is early. But tell me about your day. We had a the second day was fairly relaxing. We worked this morning. Sat at that desk over there. Over there I was all morning. Trying to make forward progress today. Clear a few things off the list, but that list is ever increasing. But we will make it happen. But tell me about your Sunday. The customers were out today in the rain. We had rain here, and the customers came out. It was cold and rainy, too. The peanut gallery made me turn back on the heat. Hey, Sarah, great to have you with us tonight live on the show tonight. It is great to have you here. How are things in your world? What are you grateful for this Sunday? But we were grateful. The customers came out and showed the love today. They definitely showed the love. A lot of clothing went out the door today. That trend is continuing, where clothing sales continue to pick up. So I am happy to see that all weekend long and watch those numbers start climbing. So that is a good thing. But tell me about your day, your weekend. It is Self-Care Sunday. That's the day every week. Everyone was outdoor, but that's some joy, Sarah. It's being outdoors and everything has been a joy that we haven't had much of this winter. And so as we come out of the darkness of winter into the light of spring, getting outdoors and setting yourself free is nice. I mean, it was even I loaded the car with some things to go to work tomorrow, and just a little while ago before I came on. And as I was doing that, I'm like, oh, it's warmed up some, but the wind is supposed to come back through, so it's supposed to drop off. But it is, it's this weird. We're in this weird middle ground right now of weather, and the fog's rolled in, and it's gotten warm, and but this is okay. And so we have to take these joys. It's not always joys with them coming into our store. It's joys in whichever way we can get it. Good evening, Adele and Dazzle. Great to have you all here tonight. Great to have you here on Self-Care Sunday. Well, let's get this party started. I got a lot of things that y'all have asked me to cover tonight. I'm doing my Southern accent tonight. I've got a lot to cover. So, let's get to it. Tonight, we start this program every night, even on Self-Care Sunday, with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Tonight, if you are following along, we are on page 36. And this is kind of good for Self-Care Sunday. Good morning. Relax your shoulders. God, you didn't realize they were all tensed up, did you? Me neither. Okay, let's go. That is your good morning today, people. Well, it is Self-Care Sunday. That is the day we set aside every week. Every week we set a day aside. We call it Self-Care Sunday. We call it Self-Care Sunday because you need a day to refill. All week long, you're pouring out your pitcher. You're pouring out your pitcher onto everything else in the world that needs you. And when Self-Care Sunday comes around, you need a day to refill your pitcher, And that is what Self-Care Sunday is all about, so that you recharge, you refresh, you take time to take care of you, because you can't take care of everybody else if you're not taking care of you. Hey, Julie Jankowicz is with us on this Self-Care Sunday. So you need that time. And I get this every week, and it still amazes me that I get that. But Sunday is a symbol. I know not everybody can take Sunday. Some of you have to cover the store on Sunday, and that's okay. That's okay. Some of you have to take care of a relative on Sunday. That's okay. Just take a day during the week, a Tuesday, a Thursday, half a day Tuesday, half a day Thursday. You know, we really only took a half day today for Self-Care Sunday. I was at that desk all morning long. But when the donuts arrived, it was Self-Care Sunday, people. When the donuts arrived, we were in Self-Care Sunday mode, most definitely. So, you know, you move into that zone, you ride that wave, and you have to find that time so that you refill your pitcher. Also, as part of Self-Care Sunday, every week, we have the recipe of the week. Hang on a second. And this week's recipe, chocolate icebox cookies. Chocolate icebox cookies is this week's recipe of the week. And who doesn't like a good cookie? Okay? You know, the matzah of Passover draws you into a good cookie. I'm just saying. Hey, Kitty, great to have you with us on Self-Care Sunday. So that is this week's recipe. Only 10 minutes of prep time. I love these recipes that don't require a lot of prep time. So not heavy prep time. Simple recipe, simple instructions. The recipe of the week this week, chocolate icebox cookies. You can find that and all the recipes of the week at narts.org/resale strong, REC. That's where you find the whole Resale Strong cookbook. Every recipe we have highlighted throughout this entire run, every recipe is there. I promise you it is all there. They are all worth trying. You know, there are main entrees, there are desserts, there are cocktails, there are appetizers. Everything is there. There are side dishes. There are ways to make vegetables sound good. You know, they're all there. narts.org/resale strong, REC. The important thing is that you take the time each and every week for this self-care, because this is a marathon, people. I know some people are starting to say, this is over. The vaccine is here. I mean, we got all our shots. We got our first shots in this weekend between Friday and Saturday. Our whole house got their first shots, and that's wonderful. It is a step in the right direction. We still have to get our second shots in a few weeks, but it is a step in the right direction. And more Americans are getting them, which is, again, a step in the right direction. But it does not signal the end of this pandemic. The end is not here yet. The roller coaster is still the ride you are on. And this roller coaster is a marathon. Do not forget that. This is not a sprint. Not a sprint, okay? So we've got to just long haul this, okay? If I could tell you it was going to be over July 4th and everything would be back to normal, that would be wonderful. But I can't tell you that. I can't tell you it'll be over Labor Day. I can't tell you when it's going to be over at this point. but we are taking steps to get there, baby steps at that. And so that's why you still have to prepare yourself for the long haul. Thank you, Julie. Yes, I mean, it's exciting. I firmly believe in the vaccines. My kid got it. Okay. I mean, would you have your kid get a vaccine that you didn't trust? Would you take it? Well, you'd say, how many more years is Neil going to be on this planet? So if he takes a vaccine, no, you take it so you have hope. So you get to the other side of this. So you help your community get to the other side. That is why you get vaccinated. And as a spokesperson, a self-appointed spokesperson in this industry, you do it because it's the right thing to do, and you encourage others to do it. So if you're afraid of it or you're concerned about it, email me. I'll talk to you about it. Maybe I'll change your mind. Maybe I won't, but I'm happy to talk about it. Because I really am all for it. And I'm really for the other, as I've helped people get scheduled, the other sites for it are so much better than the state sites. Most of the state sites are not being done very well, but the CVS sites and the Walgreens sites and all those are doing a better job of it to get you registered quicker, to get you in quicker. I got to say the online part was kind of a pain in the neck, but the in-store, we all got it at 3 different CVS's. The in-store of it, and Nana got it out of Walgreens. The in-store of it was quick and simple, in and out. The biggest wait was for the 15 minutes they make you hang out after the injection. So I can't say enough about it. But let's get this week started. I got a lot that you guys have asked me to cover tonight, so let's get to it. The first thing is you may have noticed. Well, hang on a second here. I found out that Adele was holding out on us. Adele has been holding out on us, and this came across my my plate last night, and I'm like, this would be cool, okay, for a NARTS meeting, and it's right in NARTS's office's back door in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, okay? Tiki bar boats that leave right from St. Clair Shores. I mean, we could have an off-site party on tiki boats. Tiki boats. I mean, at the very least, we should be having a board meeting on one of these. But yeah, St. Clair Shores, Michigan. This is a highlight of being on the tiki boat experience. They operate out of Detroit, St. Clair Shores, and they'll be opening in Wyandotte. I'm screwing up that name. Julie's in. I mean, I saw these and I'm like, this is what Adele does on the weekend. She goes out on the party boats. And she's been holding this out. This is Resale Island, people. This is Resale Island. They're all daisy-chained tiki boats. You could hop from one boat to the other. You could hop from one boat to the other, and we could have a whole NARTS meeting on that. I mean, and we could have martinis and all sorts of drinks with umbrellas. See, even Adele was saying they look cool. You've been holding out it took a whole extra week. No room for the blade. No room for the blade. No room for the blade. It does look cool. It does look cool. I saw that and I'm like, what do you mean St. Clair Shores? I'm like, I've got NARTS envelopes right here that say St. Clair Shores. I know where that is. That would be a self-care Sunday. That would be a NARTS self-care Sunday. All of us on tiki boats. All of us on tiki boats and departing out of St. Clair Shores. I'm just saying that is a future get together, and you know, if we did it only for those that were vaccinated, maybe we can make this work. I don't know. I'm not in charge of event planning. But I saw that and that made me smile. Where's Kelly tonight? She'd be all over it, but no room for the plane, Kitty. You are right there. Although I did have a client that used to be big in real estate and everything, and he had a seaplane. I had a client that I consulted with, and he made a lot of money in real estate and everything else, and developing properties, and he had a seaplane, and that was actually when he got in trouble in real estate. He had to give up the seaplane and the island, his private island. Okay, the things you give up when money gets tight. Okay, just so you know, you give up the seaplane and the private island. You know, lessons learned. But tonight, okay, on to other topics. You guys have been asking, okay? You guys have been asking loudly for, hey, how the heck do we plan? Okay, you helped us plan a first quarter budget. How the heck? Hey, Rick, how are you? Happy anniversary, you and Manu. Happy anniversary. Great to see you here tonight. You guys had asked, how do I plan a second quarter budget? Okay, you did a first quarter budget. How do I plan a second quarter budget for sales and expenses? How do I plan anything during this pandemic? Because the pandemic is not over. I'm seeing lots of signs of hope. Again, I'm seeing lots of signs of hope. I am seeing clothing sales start to uptick for people, which has been the lagger in sales. And I'm seeing that pick up for people across the country. As I've worked with people across the country on their stores and on their numbers. So I'm excited about that. But we still have a ways to go. And so there is no sure thing. So I took the budgeting that we did for the first quarter, the spreadsheet that we worked on back in December for the first quarter, and I updated it to do a second quarter budget. And that'll post here later tonight to the NARTS private Facebook group, and it'll go over to narts.org/resale strong by noon tomorrow. So let me just talk about what this spreadsheet has in it, okay, because it has several sections in it. And then it calculates your budget for sales and expenses. So it has you take some of the same data you did. If you did the budget for the first quarter, that I did, a lot of these boxes you'll be able to just copy and paste right in. So it's going to ask you for your 2019 sales. The first section is 2019 and 2020 sales for months that you were open since reopening the entire month. So you're only going to fill in that section for the months that you were open, full months since you reopened for both 2019 and 2020. Hey, Sylvia, great to have you with us. So that section, you're only going to fill in months that you were completely open. Okay? What we're doing with all of this is calculating a run rate. How are you running at versus 2019? Okay, 2019 being our base year for business. This is helping us calculate a run rate, okay, of how business and how both for sales and expenses. You're then going to do in the expense section the exact same thing. Okay, you're going to fill in the expenses for 2019 and 2020 so that we have a comparison, okay, by month. And all the months are there. And you're going to fill that in for only months since reopening that you were open the entire month. Then we get a little bit more complicated. We start looking at the first half of the year for 2019, 2020, and 2021 for both sales and expenses. Okay? The trick is in March. The trick in the section is March for each of the years. And in March, we're only looking at the 1st through the 15th. Again, depending on when you're doing the budget, because we're doing this in an ongoing way. Some of you may pick this up and do this tonight. Some of you may do this at another time. I want to create a level playing field of where we are in the month. So you're only doing the 1st to the 15th, okay, to create your run rate. Okay. I'm taking an average of some of these months, and I'm also calculating a run rate and a run rate average. And I'm doing the same below that for expenses. Okay, but in the section below, you're filling in actual numbers. So in the 2019, 2020, and 2021 section for sales and expenses, you are entering your numbers regardless of your open status in those months. So you're entering your actual numbers regardless of how much you were or weren't open in those months. Okay, and I am creating if you entered the numbers for sales and expenses, I'm doing all the math for you. Okay, so I do all the math for you. It is like having, hang on a second. Hang on, I need a prop. It is like having the pink calculator right there at your side. The pink calculator is sitting right there next to you. Okay? The pink calculator is right there next to you as you're calculating all this. And so it is by your side as you're coming up with your 2021 budget for the second quarter. So then it spits out, there's 2 tabs on this spreadsheet. So the first tab is where you enter all of this information. And this example is available for download too, so you can see how to fill it in. Okay? All of this is there, and if you have any questions, you know I'm here for you. You know I'm here for you. But you're going to fill this all in, and then it's going to issue page 2. And on page 2, just like we did for the first quarter budget, it is going to take a look at, it is going to give you your estimated sales by month for April, May, and June, and the total for the quarter. It's going to give you your expenses for the quarter by month and a total. And then it will also give you your average anticipated monthly sales in the second quarter and your average anticipated monthly expenses for the second quarter. And lastly, it will give you your anticipated average monthly profit or loss for the second quarter so that you can be planning, okay? So that you can use this as a guide. If you're projecting a loss, what changes can you make right now? If you're projecting a profit, what changes can you make to make it more profitable, okay? That is, because this is a roller coaster, folks. This is a roller coaster, okay? There are no hard and fast truths during this. But as we work our way through this, we are getting to the other side. We are walking hand in hand to the other side here. And we are taking that journey. And so you can't just walk blindly. You can't, where am I walking? Where am I walking? You can't do that. You can't walk blindly. You have to take this journey with some knowledge. This helps you have some budgetary forward-thinking knowledge of what the next few months might look like in your stores. Okay, it is using trend analysis. It is using your run rate. Okay, and everybody's run rate is a little bit different. Everybody's run rate is different. But I'm seeing the run rates improve as I work with people across the country. As I've talked to you about your stores across the country, the run rates are getting better. The run rates are better than they were when we did this in December. And so things are trending positive. Part of that is stimulus. Part of that is people getting vaccinated. Part of that is the spring weather. Okay, but we are headed in a positive direction. So I am excited. The future is bright. But we still have a long way to go. So take the time to do this. This will post in the NARC's private Facebook page probably within the half hour, I think. I think it's in the next 20 minutes or so. It'll post both the example as one file and the spreadsheet for you to download and fill in your own numbers on will be a separate file. Load that up on there, and you will be all set. You'll be in good shape to start the second quarter here and help move us forward. That's all we're doing, because we're going to the second quarter. Yeah, it's only a few days away. I mean, April 1st is what? Thursday? Thursday, right? Yeah. My mind and my calendar. So April 1st is Thursday. No fooling. No fooling that April 1st is Thursday. And you're going to be there. Still standing. Still standing, people. Still standing. So know that that is coming, and you're going to be here all quarter. Okay, we're going through this together. We're going through this together. We're walking this path, and that's why a budget for the second quarter will serve you well as we move forward here. Yes, it will. Okay, the other hot topic is about tonight that you guys have been asking lots of questions and there's lots of confusion about, and that's okay. It's confusing stuff. That's our government. Is our friends at the Small Business Administration. Okay, our friends at the Small Business Administration and what's happening there. So there's two different things going on right now. Okay, one is the EIDL grant. Okay, and people are like, has anybody gotten the additional EIDL grant? The answer is yes, people have gotten that. Okay, but lots more people haven't. Lots more people have not gotten the supplemental EIDL grant. What is the EIDL grant? Okay, the EIDL grant was a grant. Originally, it was $1,000 per employee. If you applied for the economic injury disaster loan, you could get an advance of $1,000 per employee up to $10,000. And originally that was only a grant if you did not get a PPP. The law change in December changed that. Okay, the change by Congress changed that at the end of December when President Trump signed that bill. At the end of December, and it made all of it a grant. So if you got $10,000 from that, that's all you're going to get. And it's a grant, and it's yours to keep. Done. If you got $3,000 from that, you may be eligible to get another $7,000. If you got $5,000, you may be able to get another $5,000. Okay. The issue with that, and that is twofold. So some people have gotten the difference, and others had already filed for forgiveness on their PPP. And if they had already filed for forgiveness before this change went through, they were required to pay that money back. Hey, Marianne is with us. How are you tonight, Marianne? Great to have you here live. Okay. You were required to pay that advance back because the law at the time said you couldn't keep it if you got a PPP. So those people that paid it back have already gotten their advance back. Everybody that had already asked for forgiveness and had paid that advance back has gotten that $10,000 or up to $10,000 back from the SBA. They actually got it from their bank that handled the PPP. What is happening next is the SBA is going to people starting in economically hard-hit areas, and the SBA has a map of what they consider hard-hit areas, and it is constantly updating, okay? You know, what you think is that you are in a highfalutin area and not an economically depressed area doesn't make it, okay? You thinking you're in the economically depressed area does not make it so. The SBA has a whole map of what is considered economically depressed, and it's actually been going through many revisions. Okay, early on in this, when the map first came out, this street would not be considered economically depressed, but the street one over from you would be. And a lot of that has been fixed, okay? A lot of that has been fixed, making both those streets economically depressed. But it is a work in process. The SBA is preparing and has sent out to some already, but we'll be sending out invitations to those that are eligible, that received an economic injury disaster loan, or are eligible for the EIDL advance, either because they did not get it at all or did not get the full EIDL advance. The SBA will start kicking that into gear after Easter. Specifically, they're going to start sending those out the Tuesday after Easter. But it's kind of like the stimulus payments to people's bank accounts. They don't all arrive on the same day. The emails don't all arrive on the same day. Some of them end out in spam. But this is a process that will be ongoing. So in April, if you are in an area, you'll be looking for an email from sba.gov to talk about it. There is still a tremendous amount of fake emails out there about SBA programs and things looking to steal your information. If you are unsure whether the email you got is real or not, reach out to me. I am happy to help verify. But there has been a lot of phishing emails looking for your bank information and other things to steal your things. Keep an eye on your bank and credit cards, people. This is not over, and the criminals are out to get your money. The other thing that the SBA is doing, starting in April, right after Easter, the SBA will be sending notices out to people that, all separate notices out to people that got an economic injury disaster loan, raising the amount that people can get. Okay, many of you were limited by 6 months of operating expenses or a maximum of $150,000. The SBA will now be raising that to up to 24 months of operating income with a maximum loan amount of $500,000. They will be sending out notices to eligible recipients, which most everybody will be eligible for this unless you were early on and got the maximum loan amount of $500,000. Most everyone else will be getting emails about this in April that already got an economic injury disaster loan, an EIDL loan, and they will be getting that emails allowing you to modify your loan up to the maximum of 24 months or 150 of operating expenses or $500,000, whichever is less. So whichever, if 24 months of operating expenses is, which would be about, or $500,000, whichever is less, okay, you will be eligible for. Keep in mind a few things. This is a loan. This loan will not be forgiven. This loan will not be forgiven. It is a loan. Okay, it is not a loan to buy a boat or a houseboat or a land boat or any kind of vacation home. It is for your business to keep your business alive, and I am all down with that, okay? I am not encouraging debt. I am encouraging survival, because on the other side of this, I truly believe things are going to be great, okay? But I'm not encouraging debt. Keep in mind, loans over $200,000, and that means $200,000 and 1 penny. $200,000 and 1 penny requires a personal guarantee. Loans between $25,000 and $200,000 just require a business guarantee. So keep that in mind. I've already heard from several of you that are concerned about it and wondering if that's for you. And, it depends on the situation whether you should do it. And I'm happy to step through that with any of you. You know where to reach me, Neil, Neil, at ecistores.com. And we can have that conversation about your particular situation. Lastly, worth mentioning is the PPP again. The PPP has been extended for applications till the end of May. If you are a Schedule C filer, They did not change it in the most recent change that President Biden is signing to allow the SBA to go back and edit loans that were issued before the changes the SBA made to Schedule C filers. That may happen at some point, but it has not happened yet. If it does, I will let you know. In the meantime, if you have not gotten a first PPP, you have not gotten a second PPP, and you are eligible, then you should be looking at getting a first or second PPP if you are eligible. People that just got their first PPP this time around, okay, should be looking at if they have the 25% reduction in revenue during any quarter in 2020 versus 2019, they should be looking at getting a second one. You can get a second one during this time. You only have to certify that you have or will exhaust the first PPP. So that is important. Again, have a question on it, just email me. I'm happy to have that conversation. Rose is asking, if someone went out of business and borrowed less than $100K, would they still be liable for payment? They would be required for the business to file bankruptcy, Rose, for the SBA to relieve them. Just closing their doors wouldn't relieve them of the debt, wouldn't relieve the business of the debt. Okay, the business would have to file bankruptcy, and I've already worked with one company on that because it's just part of the SBA's process and normal business process to discharge debts, because just the fact that you close the doors isn't enough. I mean, that's part of this pandemic, though, is many businesses just closed their doors. Okay. Of all shapes and sizes, in all industries, they just closed their doors. They may have only owed a few people or something, nothing that got reported, nothing that they had to file bankruptcy on, or they may have even been current on it. They just had no money to keep the business going, and they just closed their doors. And that's some of the saddest of what's happened here. But that is part of closing. In this situation, if you're carrying $100,000 in debt, you're still carrying that. They will be looking for that, and you have to actually do the bankruptcy process for the business. It shouldn't be a big deal. I've worked with one company on it already, or two, and it's not as big a deal, but it is something that has to be done. So the SBA debt would be discharged. That was a lot. Okay, I know why you're all confused on it. There's a lot to cover. I will stay on top of this all. I will keep you informed as I know more. I'm there for you to answer your questions as you have them. You know what else? This video and everything that I talk about goes over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. All the files, the budget files, the recipe of the week. How you going to eat the recipe of the week? Rub that belly. Yes, the recipe of the week. Yum, yum in the tummy. The recipe of the week. Don't forget those. Icebox cookies this week, people. Chocolate icebox cookies to boot. Okay. Yes. Those are all over there at narts.org/resalestrong. You can get a direct link to the recipes at narts.org/resalestrong, REC. And at narts.org/resalestrong is even a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store. No, you're not. That on the YouTube channel, you can like, comment, subscribe, and yes, you can ring the bell so you know when a new video drops. Yes, you can. You can also share it with everybody you know in business. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, they're all scared. They don't know what's going on either. We want to help all of them make it to the other side. Make it to the tiki bar, whether they got the plane or not. Just saying. That's where we're going, people. Resale Island. Who knew it was off the shore of Michigan? I am here every night at more 8 than ish, live in the Nards private Facebook group. If you have a question in between, you just email me. Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. And my glasses are somewhere. I don't know where my glasses are. Not there, they're not there. Ah, there they are. Hey, Ellen, great to have you here. If you were not here at the top of the program in the Good Morning, Good Night book, we started on page 36. Good morning. Relax your shoulders. God, you didn't realize they were all tensed up, did you? Me neither. Okay, let's go. Our good night tonight is good night. Relax those shoulders. The day makes them seize up on all of us. Yes, it does. Oof. Get some rest. Okay, sleep easy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abrams, and I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even, a tiki bar party. I'm just saying, Adele's been holding out on us. Okay? Tiki bar parties, people. Hashtag. Okay, that shows you my social media knowledge. I think it's supposed to be hashtag tiki bar party. We will party again. We will party in person. And when we are, I will be there with you. Yes, I will. But until then, and until tomorrow night at more 8 than ish, know that you and you, but most importantly you, yes, you're not alone running this store. I'll see you all tomorrow night. It's time for dessert. Have a great night.